None of us could have imagined at the last WAV luncheon where the next 18 months would have taken us. For most of us, stay-at-home orders were an inconvenience, but for many of our survivors, it presented unique challenges. For a lot of victims of domestic violence, being able to go to work or having the abuser leave the home to work provides respite for victims. Now victims were trapped at home and isolated with their abusers. Being trapped at home presented additional challenges, such as increased violence and higher lethality. Children typically have refuge at school, sporting events, or while visiting friends. Teachers, counselors, and coaches who would normally help identify potential abuse were not there to protect them throughout COVID. Early in the pandemic, we saw this firsthand. During the stay-at-home mandate, Samaritan House experienced an 86% increase in demand for emergency shelter and housing, while the total reports of suspected child abuse fell more than 24%. Hotline calls increased during the same period by 76%. That is why we continue to manage our hotline just as we did before the pandemic to ensure no call for help went unanswered. With a few dedicated core staff always at the office, we ensured that anyone who needed immediate help received it. Knowing that their abuser was monitoring their phones, many victims became creative to break free, and we saw more people coming directly to our office for help. We were here for the community throughout the pandemic and never closed our doors. Our commitment to keeping families safe remained unwavering. All 14 of our emergency shelters remained at capacity throughout 2020 and 2021. We had to limit the numbers of survivors in each shelter due to social distancing to prevent community spread of COVID-19. Rather than leave those families out on the street or with their abuser, we placed them in a hotel for their safety and protection. Utilizing hotels at the rate we did created additional financial challenges for Samaritan House. By the second month of the pandemic, we exhausted our hotel funds for the remainder of the year. We reached out to many of you here today, and you stepped up with assistance, so no one was forced to stay with their abuser or end up on the street. Our team met every challenge we faced over the last year and a half, and because of the support we received from the community, we were able to help more of our neighbors than ever before. For example, our victim advocates assisted 354 clients with navigating the court system, and despite COVID, were able to appear at 260 court hearings. 150 adults and 177 children received emergency housing. An additional 76 families were placed in hotels. 97% moved to permanent housing and continue to remain housed today. This is noteworthy under normal circumstances, but with the limited housing inventory available and the fact that many of our clients held jobs where they were the first to be laid off and the last to be rehired, 97% is simply extraordinary. While we anticipated serving 72 human trafficking victims last year, we actually assisted 113. Even with COVID, we were able to provide virtual yoga and art therapy programs. 90% of youth coming through Samaritan House received an assessment to evaluate their needs, and 100% either received services from us or were referred to a community resource. Although we experienced a significant increase in demand for our services, we also experienced a challenging fundraising time period, but with the support of the community and many of you, we were able to accomplish great things. With the alarming increase in the number of youth being trafficked in Hampton Roads, Samaritan House, with the support of Doug and Pat Perry, launched a capital campaign to build a home for trafficked youth. We remained steadfast in our commitment throughout COVID, and today I am thrilled to say we've reached more than 76% of our capital campaign goal to make this facility a reality. The project, named by Pat Perry, will be called The Hallows. Stay tuned because we hope to break ground by the end of this year and look forward to having you join us at the ceremony. We thank you for being part of the Samaritan House story and ask that you continue to believe in better futures for families in need.